Hello everyone, today I am looking at Samurai Jack, the Shadow of Aku. I love Samurai Jack. It's probably my favorite Western cartoon, my favorite Western animation, made by a Russian immigrant no less, Genndy Tartakovsky. But regardless of that, I absolutely adore the Samurai Jack TV show, and so I thought, oh, this game must be a good, interpretation of it. And honestly, it's not bad. I think I know recently another Samurai Jack game release, but I didn't really see anything nuanced or really different in it that I could pretty much have gotten a while ago. And my basic feelings on this game, yeah, it's a licensed game. It's not that great, but it's still all right. It still functions. You can use, ranged attacks throughout the course of the game. You get, different sword powers and combos you can do. And it's actually pretty smart how they activate it, how essentially you need to be blocking, and while you're in the block stance, you then do a series of button inputs, and then it'll make Jack execute this really cool slow motion ultra epic kind of attack. There's also his focus mode or whatever, which allows you to slow down time and attack things in slow-mo just like the TV show, which again is just really cool. And another really nifty thing about this game is that throughout most of the levels or regions, there's basically a hub world, and then there's 4 main regions around that. And in those regions, each one will have a different kind of, obviously a boss and a temple and whatever, but also each one has a different armor upgrade. And the armor upgrades are like temporary, which is interesting, and each one is like 3 units of damage. So in the first area, you'll get 3, in the second area, you'll get like a 6 one. So I think the first one you get is like wooden armor, so that's 3. The next one is like kind of extra reinforced wooden armor, which is 6, and the last one you get is like 12, I think, which is like this ultimate like samurai steel armor, which is very intense. And of course, throughout the game, you get different projectiles, shurikens, arrows, different kinds of sub weapons, and killing enemies restores things like slow motion and focus. And overall, the game is pretty good. I mean, obviously, some people don't reprise their roles as, the voice acting characters, but everything is more or less good. Another thing you have to do throughout most of the story is there are optional objectives of guys you have to essentially free from, chests and that are being trapped, essentially. Another thing that I also remembered about this game that was very strange and unusual is the size of the file it takes to play this game. Most GameCube games are like, some of them can be 2 blocks, some of them can be upwards of maybe 10. This one is the largest one on my GameCube, which is 35 blocks, which is just, I have no idea why that is, but it just, I guess, is that way. Again, the tone of the game is more or less like the show. There's obviously some things that make it a little bit not quite the same. For example, just the graphics and what they're able to deal with. The writing itself is actually pretty decent. In fact, my favorite part of this game, more than the show in terms of comedy, is there's this one section where you finally make it to Aku City, the final, level of the game. And these bunch of young kids come up to you and they're like, "Oh, Jack, you've got to help stop Aku. He's doing this awful thing." He's like, "What is he doing?" He's making kids play these weird mind control things called video games. And he's like, "Video games? Yeah, you pretend you're an epic warrior, can slash through all these robots, and it's totally cool and it's rad." And then they're like, "But it rots your brain from the inside out." And they're like, "Yeah." It's like, what an insidious plot. I must put an end to Aku's reign of terror. This game, it's very, well made, self-aware, I guess you could say, and it has basic platforming, exploration. Again, nothing's super amazing, but for like a licensed action adventure game, I think it does a pretty decent job. if not one of the better action adventure games based on a licensed IP that I actually enjoyed. Another cool thing that I really respect is that when Jack is on low health, he'll actually lose part of his, his kimono or whatever, and it'll look like it does in the show when he gets, beat up really bad. He ends up having, low health, and then suddenly he has, his thing's all ripped, his hair is, loose and whatever. Something else that was really cool that they incorporated into this game was Mad Jack. That's a whole different series of boss fights, which is really cool near the end of the game. Also, Aku City looks really cool. And again, is able to incorporate some elements from the TV show while being not totally reliant. And they invent a lot of their own stuff. Like there's one kind of like magma level deep underground that's, mining. They have this one sort of forest level and so on and stuff like that. And I also like the fact of the game that your healing items are sushi rules. Again, in the hub world, you can also upgrade Jack's abilities, his health, attack, and other things. And overall, this is just a pretty decently well-made action-adventure game, honestly. With lots of collectibles, exploration, combat, all that good stuff. And at the end of the day, what else can you really ask for? Anyway, that's kind of a game very fond of my childhood and pretty decent. I'll see you guys later. Bye.